I'm Jay Thomas, and welcome to Rides.
Sponsored by OK Tire, this show looks at anything that has an engine and a story told by the owners.
Webster, South Dakota, just under 1,900 people. We are going to do something really cool today. This guy built this steam engine, one of the biggest ever made, and he didn't go out and just like buy parts and put it together. He has his own foundry. He made all the parts and built this thing. His name's Corey Anderson, and we're gonna go hang out with Corey. We're almost there.
Hey, AJ.
You're Corey?
Anderson. Welcome to Dakota Foundry.
Man, so you built this big, massive steam tractor.
Yep.
The whole thing.
We built it from scratch.
The biggest one they ever made?
Yep.
Why?
It just became a childhood dream. I grew up in steam engine shows. I was 5 days old when my parents took me to my first steam show.
Okay.
And been around steam engines and preserving history my whole life, and it just became a passion. Went to Case in Racine, Wisconsin, and got a copy of all the blueprints.
They had no problem doing that?
No.
So you just call them up and say, I want to build this.
They said, well, we've got some guys that run our archives where we have all of our documentation stored. We'll let you go down there and you can thumb through all the drawings, and if you find what you need, we'll get you a copy of it.
And you found them?
Yeah.
So what else do you guys do here?
At Dakota Foundry here, we make iron castings. So we pour gray and ductile iron. A lot of our customers would be construction equipment. We can pour up to a 5,000 pound casting. So we do pretty big stuff.
God, dude, this is really cool. Can we go look at the foundry?
Yeah.
I suppose I need glasses.
Yep. This is all of our raw materials. We're melting with a cupola furnace, so that means we're melting with coke, which is basically a baked coal. So it has all the sulfur and kind of volatiles baked out of it. So the coke is what gives us our carbon and also creates the heat in the furnace. So this is our scrap cast.
And then you basically use anything for scrap, steel.
Yep. This is OTM or other track material. This is all from the railroad. That's actual rail. We're using this stuff because it has a really good metallurgical content. Yeah. So we put a certain percentage of that in with our scrap steel and scrap cast.
So in one day, how much of this stuff will you go through?
Altogether, about 30,000 pounds, but it'll be really 80% scrap and about 8% of this stuff.
Quality,
Yeah.
The process, I mean, you gotta know everything. You gotta know science, you gotta know math.
So this is actually our recipe. So today we're doing ductile iron.
And there's no varying on that recipe, right?
Nope.
It's gotta be
exact. It's just like baking a cake.
Except the cake's a little bit cheaper to bake.
If we go quick, we can get back around, but he's getting ready to tap. Because the iron, when it comes out, is about 2,650 degrees.
Dude, he looks like he's ready to go in outer space. What's this process they're gonna do?
So the iron's getting melted in that furnace. It's gonna come, they're gonna pull the plug out, let the iron run down that trough, and it'll fill that ladle. This is our inoculation charge. So this is a charge of copper and magnesium, and that's gonna get charged into that iron, and that's what'll make ductile iron. Yep.
A damn fireworks show.
So he's taking a temp right now. He's got an infrared thermometer. That's how we monitor the quality of the casting.
Okay.
And so he's going to take a sample right now. That will immediately give us our carbon and silicon content of the iron.
Wow.
those hoses, nitrogen's getting pumped into the iron right now. That's why it's kind of bubbling and sparking.
Okay.
And the nitrogen is what helps the iron accept the magnesium. So now they've got the charge in, and now he's gonna slag it off again and pull the excess slag off the top. So he's taking all the impurities and all the slag off the top of the iron. So then we're just left with good liquid iron. That ductile iron is about 2,600 degrees right now. So now they're gonna transfer into our pouring ladle. So they just transferred the iron from our inoculating ladle to our pouring ladle. So that's a probe, and he's gonna get another temperature of the iron. So they're gonna go through and pour all the molds. He starts with about 3,200 to 3,500 pounds in the ladle. So they have to calculate in their head as they're pouring how much iron they have in the ladle, how much molds they have to pour, and they have to go to the right sequence so that they don't have much iron left in when they're done.
Wow.
As that iron goes in, it creates gas.
Gas, sure.
And the gas would actually lift the mold apart, and then iron would run out all over. We only have 12 minutes from when we inoculate to we have to have it all poured out.
Got to be moving, man.
Just because of that inoculation, because the magnesium doesn't like to be in the iron. That's why we're bubbling. When we inoculate, we put nitrogen in. That helps the iron accept the magnesium. But after 12 minutes, the magnesium will detach from the iron. These guys make it look pretty easy, but it's actually an art to get this poured and hit that hole. One guy's running the hoist, which is moving the whole ladle, and then the guy here with the wheels is actually turning it. So they have to be coordinated, because as it tips, the guy with the hoist has to bring it forward, and they have to be in conjunction together.
Yeah, they're in sync.
They're just synchronized. So there's one that just got poured. That's solidifying right now.
How long will that take to solidify?
It'll be red for probably 8 hours.
Oh, man.
It's coming out at about 2,600 degrees. So our sand gets separated. We reclaim and recycle all of our sand.
Okay.
These are all castings that would have been poured yesterday.
Remember when you were a kid, you went out and got the old Rebel model, opened it up, and you had to peel all the parts off the plastic?
Yeah.
That's basically what that is, man.
Exactly.
Just knock it off.
So this is Anderson Industries, where we do a lot of our machining, welding, metal fabrication. I also make all of our foundry patterns here.
More of a cleaner operation.
Yeah. The casting process is kind of tricky because our mold has to be sand, because that's the only thing that will take the temperature.
That's it right
So
there?
this is this is the 3D sand printer. So this is a special designed print head that injects the chemical. So it'll layer a layer of sand. Wherever we need bound mold, it will print a chemical, and it'll bind that mold. Here's a 3D printed mold. This is part of a different manifold.
Yeah, I can see. Yep, that's your outer. There's some big stuff right there.
Yeah, that's for rock crushers.
Rock crusher?
Yep.
This is an unbelievable operation, Corey.
Should we go check out the tractor?
All right, now you saw all that. We needed to show you that, to show you that, you know what, people still work and put in hard work and it pays off. Look what Corey has done for a lot of people in the Webster, South Dakota area. Well, let's go take a look. Thresherman's Park. Wait till you see this beast.
We're gonna step back in time 100 years here.
Yeah. Oh, I love the smell, man. I love the smell.
Yeah.
Holy, wait a minute now. I thought you just had the one in here that you built. This place is packed. Every single one of these actually run and work?
Yeah.
Let's see which one you built. And again, when we say you built, we don't mean you found parts here and there. You made the parts.
We made from scratch.
Real quick, this is an old road one, right?
Yep. So this is a road roller. So this would have been the case construction, basically a construction tractor. Would have pulled a grader with this and graded the road up and then packed it. This would be about 1915.
Jeez, that's crazy. Look at all these. This is a little tight, boys. Can you get through here? Oh. So is this it? Is this the one you built?
This is a 110 case.
This isn't the one you built?
No. So after they built the 150 case road locomotive, they realized that it was just too large to be practical.
Okay.
And this is actually the most successful plowing tractor.
These are just and the smell in here, the grease. It smells
grease
great.
and oil,
I love it.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't imagine the smell in this building. I mean, it's a good smell, man.
Yeah.
They should bottle that stuff and sell as cologne. Jeez, look. Is this the one?
This is the monster, yeah.
This is it? So this is the one you built?
Yeah, so this is the 150 case road locomotive.
Now, just so folks have a kind of an understanding, I'm 6'2", okay? Yeah, get you some of that, huh? Okay, so let's explain again, because I want people to understand when you are 75,000 pounds of iron and steel. So, every part basically on here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna point, built it.
Yep, that's a step riser.
You'd cast all this.
We made a pattern, made a sand mold, poured the casting, machined it. Yep, front wheels.
The tank.
Yeah, the boiler's all brand new. Yep.
That.
Yep, that's the exhaust heater.
You cast it.
Yep.
I could basically point at anything on this for the most part. If I'm pointing at it, you cast it at Dakota Foundry.
Yep.
You did it. And it took you how long?
Took us 18 months.
Is this the only one in the world?
It's the only one in existence.
And the only reason it exists is because you made every single part for the most part.
Every
put it
piece,
together from the blueprints you got.
Yep.
What year?
This would have been built in 1905.
And there are none left.
None left.
Well, there's one.
They built 9 originally, and none of them survived. So the only original piece on this is the serial number plate. That's the original serial number plate.
That's the real deal.
Yep.
And you pulled that off
the original boiler. So this is engine number 14666.
And you cast that.
Yep. We cast all that.
Oh man, this is fan. This has got to be one of my favorite shoots ever because you did all this.
Yeah.
So
these wheels we built in Fargo at Larson Welding and Machine.
No kidding?
Yep.
So like all the gears in there.
Yep.
That big massive gear.
Yep, we cast that.
You cast that at your foundry.
And we machined it up at Jim's shop at Larson Welding.
It's nuts. You must have had the stickers reproduced.
Yep, those are reprint.
That's cool though, man. Can we get a camera guy up there with us?
Yeah.
So these steps I'm climbing on.
Yep.
Your foundry, you cast those.
We cast those, yeah.
God dang it. Look at this.
So you can climb right up there. That's the engineer's seat. There's a step here on the toolbox and then another step there.
Oh my God. Just get up here and sit.
So where you're sitting is where the engineer operated this from. This was a big enough machine where it would have had 2 operators. This is your steering.
That's steering?
Power steering lever, yep. If you push the lever ahead, it goes right, pull it back, it goes left. The steam engines, to reverse, they just reverse the whole engine. So there's no transmission like a car. The whole engine reverses. So then your power steering also reverses. So then it's backwards.
So that's backward, okay, all right.
This is your throttle, forward and reverse. This is the high-speed clutch and then low-speed auxiliary.
Yeah, you got to be paying attention. What did Case think when you got this done? I mean, have they seen it? They must have seen this thing.
There's been some of the marketing guys that have seen it and come out to different shows.
Yeah.
But they're such a big organization, and
the fact that these parts didn't exist, you had to make them off blueprints.
Yep. It's really a huge preservation of their legacy.
It is, it really is.
Case company.
I want you to tell the viewers, because there's an expression guys like to use a lot. Matter of fact, one of my favorite bands in the world, I'll lose viewers for this, Nickelback uses it in one of their songs.
Yeah.
All in, balls out.
Balls out.
Where did balls out come from? Explain that.
Yep. So as the engine, the RPM increases, it increases the RPM of the governor. Once you get up to speed, those balls come out.
Yeah, the balls just kind of.
And so when you're up to max RPM, your balls out.
And that's where it came from.
Yep.
All in, balls out.
Yep.
Balls out means you're at the max.
You're-
And they just kind of expand out.
Yep.
How about that? You learn something every time you watch rides. For folks that have no understanding how a steam tractor works, a boiler works, these things were dangerous.
In the 1900s, when steam engines came out, everybody was transitioning to a mechanical machine.
Yeah.
We didn't even have like the background of mechanics. People were used to just feeding horses and taking care of them, and we had to transition our minds to mechanical work. And what makes a steam engine, what gives it its power, is the expansive force of steam.
Yep.
And that's contained in our boiler. It's a pressure vessel. So most of these operate about 150 pounds per square inch of steam pressure.
Most states, you have to be licensed by
Yeah.
the state to operate a boiler, work on a boiler.
Yeah.
They're dangerous.
So we do annual inspections. Everybody has to be a licensed steam operator, so you have to pass a boiler course. The reason they blew up was just because people didn't know how to operate them.
Exactly. One more thing.
Yep.
Can we take her out for a spin? No, I had to say it, man. I had to say it.
How many days do you got?
We'll come see it about a week.
Every year at our show, the weekend after Labor Day in September, we fire all these up. We're out plowing, running sawmills, do a parade.
Wow. Yeah, because these were multi-use. They weren't just for one thing.
Yep. You know, back when these came out, you know, they replaced the work that horses were doing. They
Iron horse.
Yep. They did all the plowing, threshing, ran sawmills, moved houses, moved grain.
Well, again, Corey, thanks so much, man. I really appreciate it. This is, like I said, Rides isn't just about cars and trucks and motorcycles. We just love anything with an engine, a motor, cool and a story.
Yeah.
It is definitely a unique ride, that is for sure. Corey, thanks for being on Rides, brother.
It's been a
Thanks,
pleasure,
brother.
Jay.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Hey, dude, thanks for the tour of the foundry. So then we were ready to leave because we got to get over to another place to film. But then you told me, well, hey, you guys got time to come over to Andover? My dad's got a shop. This is the shop? What
This
the
is
hell,
this
man?
is the shop. So this is what we call the museum. This is where Dad's got a lot of his cars and a lot of his toys. And this is where you've seen where we work and you've seen the big steam engine. And this is where you come hang out at.
This is what we can call the clean room.
Yeah.
All right.
And we have air conditioning.
Oh, thank God. It is hot in South Dakota.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Corey, how are you?
Get over here, brother.
How are you?
How you doing, Kevin?
Great.
Nice to meet you, man.
Great.
This is the hangout, huh?
This is it. That's where it happens.
And I'm informed that it's called the museum, and I can see why. Let's start with this toy right here. What do we got?
This is a 1927 Model T depot hack. This was used to haul the people from the train to the hotel, or the depot to the hotel. And what was neat about this is we were able to get all the plans for this body from the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn. It was a big deal to haul some people. There wasn't any buses. You know, Ford had only had the Model T out a few years, and
It was the first Uber.
You know, the other thing caught my eye right when we got in here, too. I can't believe you got a Greenbrier wagon. Wow. So what's the year on this thing?
this is a 62.
You don't see these things running around, and I'm told you have more than one. How many do you have?
5.
5. So if you're looking for one of these Greenbriers, you can't find one, blame this man right here, because he's hoarding them all.
Yeah, it's a disease. They made a camper kit for him. Otherwise, it comes with 4 bench seats, or you could get buckets in the front, and you could have the seats in like a bus. I got these in like a bus. Otherwise, the 2 middle seats, you would turn them around and set facing each other.
Okay.
This one is actually a Canadian-built Corvair Greenbrier.
So-
see how the seats are
Oh, yeah.
the other way?
You want to talk about getting car sick looking backwards on a
No.
road trip? Oh, man. Let's talk about all these whistles. What's the story? You've got one hell of a collection of your steam whistles.
This whistle collection was in part owned by a dear friend of mine. He and I were business partners together for over 40 years. He passed away, and I told the family if they gave me a good price on the whistles, I would build a monument in memory of their father. And so that's what I did.
There it is. And that must be him up there.
Yeah, that's David Fye there from Watertown. Then the family brought his foot locker. He was on
I was wondering what that
he was
was.
on the USS Shangri-La during the Korean War, and his Navy blues are still in there.
Really?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
So we'll have the Navy flag, and I have the U.S. flag, and then on the very top are wind vane lightning rods.
That's what those, okay.
Yeah, and the glass is actually the insulators. Those are all in the colors of his birthstone colors of his 4 children.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Good for you, man. That's amazing you did that for your friend. You know the one thing you don't have? I don't see a bar out here, man.
Oh,
I don't see a bar
you
to go
step
hang
this
out.
way.
Oh, I should have known. Oh, look at this. Oh, yeah. Okay.
These are salesman samples. This one's from 1908, and it's a salesman sample, a quarter scale model of the big steam engine like we have, and it shows, so the salesman could show
How it works.
the customer how it worked and show the service staff how it worked.
Because when they were trying to sell these steam engines, the only thing people had ever worked with up to that point was horses. And so you can see the piston in here, and then how the slide.
Yeah, they
goes
did all the
back and
cutaways so
forth.
you
Yep.
can see and
Yeah.
understand how
Yeah.
this stuff works. And you got some great stuff. I mean, this, now I see why you call it the museum. Did you ever have kids coming in here? Do you ever allow kids or classes to come in here and just see this stuff? Kids aren't going to see this in school anymore.
At our antique machinery show, we actually invite 10 schools to come and on Friday of the show, and then all we do is dedicate every activity of the whole day to these kids.
That's great.
Yep, and last year we had almost 500 kids come. We saw lumber for them, we plow with the steam engines, we thrash grain, we do all the activities, and you just really get a good feeling when the kids are, because they're young, some are young, pretty young, you know, I don't know, how old, maybe 14, 15-year-olds?
Yeah, probably 12 to 16, I would say.
Well, I got to tell you, this has been an absolute pleasure. I mean, thank you for saying, hey, you got a quick minute to jump over to my dad's shop. I'd never dreamed this is what we would see. Kevin.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being on Rides, brother. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Corey, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you for being on
certainly.
Rides. Thanks for
Definitely.
introducing us to your dad, man.
Thanks
And
for-
thanks for the
thanks for
foundry
coming out.
tour. You
Yeah.
bet.
Hey, if you have a cool story that involves a car, a motorcycle, a boat, heck, anything with an engine, we want to hear about it. Just go to rideswithjthomas.tv, send us a picture with your story, and your ride can be featured on the show. Be sure to visit our YouTube page for full episodes and exclusive content. From everyone here at Rides, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Rolling.
Okay.
All right. Wait. Wait a minute. Be
There you go.
careful, that's going to turn into a blooper reel there. Ooh, watch yourself. Okay. We're going to go over to this, right?
The remote.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Okay.